Hi everyone, this is Brandy from Stitchin' in Oregon, back for Floss Tube number 31. My last Floss Tube was March 16th, so I am back within my month, which, yay me, that doesn't ever happen. I think last time we went like 2 months in between videos or something. I thought I would do a little introduction of myself since I've been so, sporadic. Um, and you know, just get to know me. We change. So my name is Brandy, and I live in Oregon. We live about halfway between Portland and Lincoln City, so it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get either one. I am married. We will be married 15 years this year. We have 4 kids. Our oldest graduated from college last May and lives in New Orleans. Our middle child graduated from high school last year and he still lives at home with us. And we have twin daughters that will be 14 in October. And they are fishing with their dad right now. We moved to Oregon about 5 years ago for a job for my husband. He used to work for Coca-Cola and he ran the warehouse. And a couple of years ago he made a shift to a different job. But that's why we live in Oregon now. We used to live in Spokane, Washington. And that is where most of my family still lives, is that area in northern Idaho. Yeah, so I am a special education teacher that works in a behavior program, and I love it. It's really, really hard. I think any teaching position could say that, but behavior is a challenge. Often the kids that I work with come from a lot of trauma, and so they don't understand why they are acting the way that they're acting. So we have to help them navigate that. Um, yeah, so I teach at the elementary level. It's a self-contained program, and we can do K through 5. Although my students right now are first through fourth. So, yeah, that's who I am. I have 2 dogs here in the room with me. My twins each have a cat. They are upstairs in their space. My son might end up coming down. He's in his room sleeping. But yeah, we love camping and hiking and being outside. I love being hot. Like warm, hot, humid does not bother me. My husband and I just went to Florida for our spring break, and it was lovely. Like, we went to the Florida Keys and I just sat on the beach and baked. It was wonderful. So that is me. Um, I don't, if you've watched my other videos, I can't remember if I had, you all know about, if you've watched, you know about my injury from October. My dog Allie was asleep in my lap and flipped my recliner over and I landed on my arm funny. Well, finally I was able to go see a specialist and start getting it fixed starting in February. And it's April now, and I have this brace that goes up to my elbow. I'm supposed to wear it pretty much 24 hours a day. I just take it off to shower, but I sleep in it, I drive, I work, all the things. Cook, and my hand is supposed to stay like this. So if you see me like adjusting my shoulder and like my thumb just sticking up, that's why. I go to physical therapy twice a week for it, and I might have to have surgery. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, this impacts my stitching. I don't have as much to show as I would like, but I still have some. If I'm stitching on like an 18 count Aida, I don't need my stand to stitch. But if I'm stitching on anything that is a small, like a higher count than that, or my linens, I have to do my like floor stand and then stitch left-handed, or two-handed stitch. So that becomes time consuming, and it's a little harder on my body because I have to like bend over and sit in the chair, and those stands are kind of cumbersome to like drag from room to room, and often I will stitch in the living room and then I'll stitch in my bedroom and blah blah blah. Anyway, so we have been having some really pretty weather here in Oregon this week, although it was very rainy end of last week. And it's been windy and it's been cold, and I just want to be warm. So yeah, let's get into my stitching. I did have one finish since I think my last video. It is called Hold Fast by Hello from Liz Matthews. I will put a picture of the pattern in here, and I will also put a picture of my finish in here. It is currently with my friend Teresa. She is ripping some stitches out of it for me because I originally started stitching that big border that goes around, and decided when I finished the anchor and the flowers, I didn't want to do that anymore. So she's ripping it out for me because she loves me, and it's hard for me. So as soon as I get that back, I'll frame it, and then I'll show you guys the FFO of that one. But that is Hold Fast by Hello from Liz Matthews, and I started that one for my birthday, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. I don't usually track the date of my starts. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. I know all of these things are going to take me a long time. So stitching is a time-consuming hobby, and I think cross-stitchers in general are notoriously impatient. So unless you're a monogamous stitcher, which more power to you, I get bored easily, and I get FOMO, and I will, I'll start something and then I'll get bored, and then I'll go work on something else, and then I'll start something else, and that's how you end up with about 80 projects in your closet that you need to whip down. So actually, my number of projects doesn't bother me. You'll see some cross stitchers really can't handle, like, we all have our limits, right? But my mentality about it is, if I don't start it, it will never get done. And I loved it enough to buy the pattern, and I'm not afraid to, if I fall out of love with a project, I'll give it to a friend that wants to stitch on it, or I'll rip what I've done out and reuse the fabric. So yeah. Oh, hi. Hello. This is Allie. She's the one that flipped me out of my chair and hurt my wrist. So she is very lovely. A couple videos ago, well, last June, there will be a video about her and her origin story. So, all right, I've got my coffee, I've got my water, and now I've got a Gideon. Can you get down? I'm trying to stitch. He just tried to stick his tongue in my mouth. Get down. Get down. Lay down, please. I'm filming. Okay, so that was that. I have one new start. It is called Flamingos at Sunset, I think. Flamingos at Sunset. It is Charted by Stitches So Beautiful and by Pinkbird Cruise. Let's see if I can show picture. This is what it will look like. It reminds me of my trip to Florida I just took. Hey, no thank you. Give me just one moment. Anyway, when we were in Florida, we went to Key West and we went to this butterfly conservatory, and they had a... I'm sorry, he just flopped down on the floor. Move the camera. They had a mated pair of flamingos, so they just had two flamingos in the conservatory, and then the rest was like butterflies and moths and birds. And anyway, it was really beautiful. But it was mating season, so they were talking a lot, and it was really kind of cool to watch. But so I got this pattern. Stitches So Beautiful was having an Easter sale, and these are my first two patterns I've ever bought from them. I bought a heart one too that I'll show you guys when I show you new stuff. So anyway, I decided to get this one to kind of stitch on to get me through till my next trip to Florida. I would like to live there. I'm slowly working on my husband to get that to happen. So this is where I'm at. It is not a lot. It's a center start. You can't see it very well because it's literally, I think the colors are called Ivory and Vanilla. This is the center and it's the sun. Like, I'll put another picture so you guys can see. It is the sun on the water. So I started there because the pattern isn't square, right? And so I didn't want to have to do a lot of counting and potentially get things wrong. So I'm not even 1% done with this yet, but that's where I am. And I'm stitching it on a 25 count Ivory Lugana. One strand full cross. And don't come for me about my needles. I know. I leave them in there so that I don't lose them. Otherwise they end up on the floor. I'll be right back. I gotta go let the dogs out. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so that was my new start. Like I said, flamingos at sunset, 25 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross, and I'm gonna try to work on that like one day a week, even if it's, you know, just a couple stitches. Every time I make plans though, they get ruined. So I would like to see some progress on that. I have a lot of full coverages and I don't get enough progress. Okay, my next one that I worked on is one that I'm doing with my friend Teresa. It is from Etsy, from Happy Mood Point Cross Stitch Studio, and it's called Sampler Quaker Stars. Let's see if I can show this. I'll put a picture in. It's just a really pretty like pink Quaker motif sampler that I'm doing with her. We work on it 1 or 2 nights a week, and it's not a race, but it is something that we try to work on at least once a week. And this is where I'm at. She's a little further than me because she has like half of this big motif up here stitched. But like I said, not a race. But we both really love that. Love this. We love the colors. I think I'm stitching this on a 32 count linen. I can't remember what it's called. If I figure it out, I will. Oh wait, here it is. Nice. I like it when I do this. 36 count linen, called Mellow Stone by Atomic Ranch. That's what it is. And I got this one from, I got the fabric from a shop in Emmett, Idaho called Maggie's on Main. So that is where I'm at with that. So since you guys saw this last, I don't remember if I had finished this pink one. Sorry, if the light changes, it's because it's sunny, but the clouds are out. So, and then all of this is new. Yeah, this one is really pretty. I'm also stitching this one over one full cross. Okay. Next is, my tablet is dead, so I can't give you like a percentage of how far I am on this. Sorry about that. But this is Stone Cottage Keep. It is the 2020, is it 2025 or 2026 stitch along from Heaven and Earth Designs. If you guys remember, I did start this when they released it, and I was on track to finish it this year with the way I was stitching. And then my dog, my big white dog, stepped on it with his muddy prints, and I stopped, and my friend was going to kind of dust it off, but I missed it so much that I took it back, and I'm just hoping you won't be able to see it. So I have worked on it a little bit since I got it back. I did start in the center, like a top center start with this one. And I am working my way to the right hand corner. So this way. And the page finishes like right here, and then that's the end of the design. I'm stitching this on a 25 count. 1 over 1 full cross. I think it's really pretty, and I love working on it. His footprints are forever in my work now. So I think I have about 78,000 stitches left to go in this or something. And I do have one complete page finished. It's like, and then this is a partial page. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'll put a picture of the full design so that you can see it. And I've just been picking it up when it calls to me. I don't feel the rush, like urge to rush anymore with this one since it got, goobered. But I really actually love working on it. So... okay, what else do I have over here? Oh, I started the Temperature Alphabets by Sarah Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm not very far. So I decided to scrap my peacocks and go with this. So I'm still on January and trying to catch up, but this is where I'm at. I love the way hers looks, so I went with a blue fabric. It's called Heather on the Hill. It is a linen 36 count by Grace Notes Fabrics. It's kind of hard to see with the light, but we just had a lot of different greens. And I'm stitching the high today. So I definitely need to do some catch up on this. I'm still like tracking the temperatures. I just haven't done as much. And I'll put a picture of what the complete pattern looks like over there too. Okay. Is this the last one I've worked on? Must be. This is not a long video. That's crazy for me. Okay, I am stitching the Country Cottage Needleworks Mini Village series, but I'm only stitching one house from each pattern because I didn't need all of them, so I'm just doing a monthly village like a long monthly village. So I just finished March. This picture is tiny. So I'll try to put a picture up of what it looks like. But, and I finished my version of March, not last night, but the night before. So, and I really like how this is looking. I'm stitching it on a 32 count Lugana by Bestitch Me. It is not named, but these houses are so little, they'll definitely all fit across here. And I'm really excited for how this looks right now. Oh my gosh. So this is where I'm at. We have January, February, March. And I'm going to put April here. There's a tree. So I'm going to have the house running into the rainbow and then a tree on the other side. And I'm kind of staggering the houses a little bit. But I really like this. I think it's super cute. I'm using the called for floss unless I didn't have it, and then I'm just subbing it for something close. And I am stitching this 2/2 full cross. And like I said, I'm just picking a house and then from the pattern and maybe something to go with it. So like this house had its trees and its clouds. This one had this tree and some snowflakes. And then March had the rainbow. And I have April prepped and ready to go. I'll post a picture of April because you're not going to be able to see it, I don't think. These pictures are so little. But I'm gonna do the tall house next. So, and then as I finish these, I am letting my friend Teresa borrow them because she wants to stitch them. So, and that one's fun because every month is like a finish, even though it's not like the complete project finish. So, okay, that was it. That was my last one I worked on. So now we need to talk about plans. What I am trying to do is get some things finished. Not because my whip count is bothering me, but because I have projects in there that either have barely a start or they're so close to being done and I'm just not picking them up because once they're done, I don't get to work on them anymore. So I made a list of projects I want to finish and projects I want to work on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Siri just pick a random number between, like one list is 14, one is 19, and we're going to see what it pulls for me to work on. And then I'll pause and I'll go grab those projects so that I can show you where I'm starting. And sounds like I need to let the dogs in. When we rescued Allie, she was homeless. So she does not like to be outside very much for extended periods of time. Okay, so on my to finish list, we were able to cross off Hold Fast because I finished that after we got, like right when we got back from Florida. So that means I have 13 projects on here now. So, hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 13. Okay, so Siri picked 5. So 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is Animal Cracker. So that is a project I am stitching for my friend Lisa. And I'll grab that. And when I do that, then she can look away for a minute because she watches my videos. Okay, next is projects I want to get progress on. I am not crossing these off if I've worked on them. So if the same number gets called again, I'll just work on it again. We'll just keep getting progress on it. So there's 19 projects on this list. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 19. Pick another number between 1 and 19. Okay. It picked 5. That's why I had it pick a different number. And it picked 17. So we have 19, 18, 17. It picked Wisdom by Teresa Kogut. So let me go grab those real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have the 2 that I spun for, and I also have one that I want to get some progress on because I would really like to finish it this year. So, I'll do Animal Cracker first. So, Lisa, if you're watching this, please look away so I can show it. And I'm not going to say what it's called because I don't want her to know. She does know it's an animal cracker. So, this is the pattern. And I am stitching it on perforated paper so that I can make it into a magnet for her. I am not very far. I think I started this last year. I really wanted to have it done for her birthday this year, but that's why it's on the list. This is how far I am. So, I will focus on a finish for this one. See if we can get it closer. Focus on a finish this month doesn't mean I have to finish it, but that's my goal. So, we will try to do, and I'm stitching this one with 2 strands called for floss over the perforated paper, and I think the perforated paper is an 18 count. So, and most of my baggies are Ziploc baggies, and because that's how I roll. All right, Lisa, you can watch again. Okay, the next one I spun for was Wisdom by Teresa Kogut. I have not worked on this in a really long time, so I'm actually really excited for this. This is what it will look like. And I am stitching this on a really pretty, like, light blue fabric with the called for floss. Let's see, this is called Spring Breeze. It is a 36 count linen by Grace Notes Fabrics. I used to be in their, like, fabric of the month. So, and I only stopped because it was summertime, and as you all know, being a teacher is, your pay dwindles. So anyway, here is where I am at with this. So I will either try to maybe fill in a flower or finish the outline of this one. I do have the beginning of the alphabet here, and I have the beginning of the box over here. So it'd be really nice to get some progress on this. I love a lot of Teresa Kogut's patterns. So just look at the little bee in there. That's so cute. Okay, so this one this one got spun to get progress on. So definitely the animal cracker is kind of like up here, and then this one. Okay, and then the one that I would like to get progress on because I would like to finish it this year. Gideon, knock it off. He found a dewy bone thing, and they just will only ever play with the exact same thing. So they're always trying to take it from each other. Okay, this is probably one of my oldest whips, for real. It is called Celebrate Christmas by Madame Chantilly. This is what it will look like. I might have to chase the dogs off. Hey, no. And I'm stitching this on a 36 count raw linen. I think I just got it from Michael's. With the called for floss. I have not worked on this in a really long time. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take the bone and put it somewhere they could not find it. Okay, trying to, this is how long it's been since I worked on this. I had a working thread and I just pulled it through somewhere else. Okay, 36 count raw linen. I am stitching this with 2 strands, which is not my preferred anymore. Here, I'll just hold this up. This is where I'm at. I have half of it done. I would like to finish the other half of it this year. Stitching on Christmas is hard for me though because I don't like the cold. But I do love this pattern. So, last time I was working on this, and probably what I will continue with this time, is I'm on this top tier and I'm finishing this mug, and then where did the thing go? Did I put it back in here? I'm such a mess. I got up and what did I do with it? Guys, if my head wasn't attached, I swear. I found it. It was in the bag. Imagine that. Okay, so this is where I'm at. So no. Ow. Okay, this is where I'm at. I'm sorry, the lighting is not good. I wonder if, I know that's not. Does that help? Maybe a little. Okay, so I have the mushrooms stitched, and I started this red plant. So I need to finish the cup and stitch this plant and this little birdie, and then this top tier is totally, right? Top tier is totally done. So then I can come back down and do this other side. I do have like the first leg of this deer done, and that light's not helping. I thought it would. Okay, I do have the first leg of this deer done, and I have this candy cane and this ball thing done. So I have to stitch the tray part over on both of these, finish this, finish this. I'm not stitching the word Christmas because I think it's really obvious that this is for winter/Christmas. So, in the grand scheme of things, I don't have a lot left to go. The reason this one takes me as long as it does is because I don't like this pattern. I don't like the actual physical copy of the pattern. I love the stitch design. Like even, like once it's done, I'm like, ooh, I really, really like this. But I don't like working from this. So, that's a problem. Okay, so then I was going to show haul, which wasn't much. I bought a couple pieces of fabric, which I showed you one because I started Flamingos at Sunset on it. I also bought a 18 count Aida that I was going to start one of my market pieces on, but I meant to buy it as a 20 count and didn't realize it was in the wrong slot. So it was in the 20 count slot, but it was an 18 count fabric. So my friend's going to buy that from me, and I'm going to buy another piece of fabric for that. And so I'll just show you that pattern when I kit that up. The only other pattern I wanted to show you guys that I bought, and I don't think I showed this before. Stitch is So Beautiful has Patriotic Heart. That's what it is. I love this pattern so, so much. And I've seen some people stitching on it lately and getting like good progress. I wish this would go away. Okay. This is what it looks like. Everyone I've seen stitching it is working in this firework. And even though it's so confetti heavy, I adore it. And I love patriotic. So I did buy this, and I think this will be my 4th of July start this year. So I'll just make sure it's all kitted up, and then I'm going to my grandparents' house for the 4th of July like I always do, and I will start it there. So yeah, I think that is all I have to show. And let's see. Next weekend, I'm going to a women's retreat for church. It is my husband's birthday. My daughter will have her last regular volleyball tournament tomorrow for club volleyball, not for school ball. So club volleyball has their last regular tournament tomorrow. And then in a couple weeks, she will have regionals, which we already know they've made it into regionals. So, and then I will be going to Spokane to help my sister with a bridal shower she's throwing for her best friend. And let's see. In May, we have Memorial Day, and we'll be going camping on the coast for that. And my sister will be coming over. Same sister I'm going to help for the bridal shower will be coming over here to go camping with us. And then June is the last month of school. And so about mid-June we get out of school. So I think we were counting down and we have 39 days of school left now. So yeah, and then we'll have summer plans. So it is April 18th. I should be back May 18th I'm going to be in Spokane. So I'll try to do it before or after that. I'm really, really horrible at posting update photos on Instagram, but I have been playing with the idea of posting them to my channel instead so that you all could see them, and maybe doing like little mini lives like, look what I'm doing. But I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. If you are, let me know. If you made it this far, leave me a firework emoji down in the comments. If you like what you saw, please feel free to like and subscribe and ring that bell. I don't usually ask you guys to do that. But if you want to, go ahead. I do this for fun. I think it is really fun, like sharing what I enjoy doing, and then, you know, connecting with other floss tubers so that I can be enabled by them and to see what they're doing. And if you ever have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram, same, Stitching in Oregon with Brandy. Or leave me a comment and I can definitely answer any questions you might have. So I think for now, that's it. And I hope you saw something you liked, that you were enabled, and you had a good time. So for now, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.